Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Simply Sketchy. And today we're doing a little bit different, though I have brought with myself the good old-fashioned bleach here. We are, instead of talking about cryptids and the things that go bump in the night, we're going to talk about a movie he's very fond of.
Yes, we are going to be talking about The Third Man, perhaps one of the best movies ever made. It's definitely my favorite.
Right? Now, I get it's in the noir style, right?
Noir, yes, it's kind of a hallmark of the post-war film noir series.
Mm-hmm.
What would be called film noir, where it uses a lot of um, deep shadow, lots of high contrast,
Mm-hmm.
and in the case of the Third Man, they also do a lot of the Dutch angles, which I think is actually one of the movies that really kicked off the Dutch angle phase.
Hmm.
Which
What is the Dutch angle for the layman?
that's where it's like you tilt the camera
Right.
basically 30 to 40 degrees. I think it is roughly, um,
Okay.
and it's derived from like a lot of the early German films like Fritz Lang. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but they do it in such a way where it's kind of a considered. So it gets. Sorry, let me step back.
What?
Dutch angle is kind of like the reason why we have the Pennsylvania Dutch. It's kind of a corruption of Deutsch.
Okay.
So it's not like a Dutch made film. It did happen in Holland, of course, but it never really took off. And you'll see the Dutch angle on some Hitchcock movies, but The Third Man is where it just really just kind of explodes as a thing. And so
Yeah, because
this
you have
film
shown
was
me a few clips of it, though I haven't really seen the movie myself. You did show me the scene that we're currently going through, that I'm currently drawing here, which is what kind of inspired me to do it.
yeah. So this takes place at this is almost at the end of the movie. And it has Orson Welles, the man famous for panicking people during the War of the Worlds radio broadcast, which is out there on YouTube on every platform. If you've never listened to the War of the Worlds, do so. It's
Recommend that.
amazing.
Yes, it is. And also, for any kind of Transformers fan, his last role was Unicron, which is again, the dude wasn't really, he was just hamming it. He was foaming it in, he was just foaming it in, but it was still
Oh yeah.
a fantastic job.
I'm there's a wine commercial where he shows up at as the old man that he was,
Mm.
and it is like the most amazing set of outtakes. It's for Paul Masson wine,
Mhm.
and the most famous line is going, "Ah, the French." He
Yeah,
hasn't cut that in.
oh, I've seen that one a lot. That's one of my favorite memes. The guy like, oh,
I
I mean,
but
he
yeah, so, but
drinks for
that's
every
like,
take, right? So he gets just more and more
oh yeah,
drunk.
yeah. It's amazing to watch,
Oh, this is
and
beautiful.
that's like old Orson Welles. That's like 1978. That's what 30 years after The Third Man,
Yeah, because he
and
is very, shall we say, sizable in that age.
he grew to match his ego.
Yeah. The dude did have
Yeah,
some. He did have some demons to carry, from what I understood.
he did. I mean, anyone who has that much success at such a young age, 'cause he was oh, maybe in his 20s when he like his career just exploded, and it wasn't just as an actor. It was basically he was like the guy
Right.
when it came to movie direction, acting. I mean, he had a lot of weight put on him.
Yeah.
Um,
And to cope with the stress, he went eating food, and it was actually through the food that Orson Welles would say yes to join the Dune project of Alessandro Jodorowsky.
hmm,
Yeah, he
did not know that.
yeah he asked him several times because he wanted him to play Baron Harkonnen.
Ah,
Imagine Orson Welles as a Harkonnen.
oh,
Uh-huh.
that would have been amazing.
Yes.
That would have
Like
been
if you have
absolute.
if you haven't watched Jodorowsky's Dune, do it, because you'll lament what we didn't get, but you'll also see how much that movie affected current cinematic. When I say current, I mean golden age cinematics.
Mm-hmm.
Holy crap, it's beautiful. But
The,
he
the,
ended
the,
up stalking Orson Welles to find out how to get him on, because he's already asked Orson Welles, and he kept saying, no, no, I don't want to. Go away. Then he
mm-hmm.
stalked him, found out what it was his favorite restaurant, and while he was eating, he went up to Orson Welles and said, if you join me for this movie, I'll make sure you get this food for the rest of your life.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And he said yes.
I mean,
Oh, I love it.
I mean, if I was Orson Welles and somebody was like telling me that I could do that, I mean, I would.
Favorite restaurant food for the rest of my life? Fuck yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm hoping the noise cancellation is getting the cat to be quiet.
well, I don't mind listening to a cat. We do have a little bit of fondness for kitty cats on this
Yes,
channel,
well,
so
toxoplasmosis is definitely a thing in this house.
it's one hell of a drug.
Yes. Uh,
Hey,
So
at least you know about it.
exactly. I'm not going in blind.
No. Let
I,
us see.
One of the other interesting things about Wells is he was definitely like basically a workaholic, and he did
Oh yeah.
stage, radio, not so much television, um, and then you know, definitely film. I mean, it's just it's wild to
From what I
look
can
at
gather,
his
dude was an actor. Like he was an artist with his acting.
yes, yeah. Honestly, if anyone were to be like, oh well, an auteur or some other haughty name. Like anybody else, I'd be like, yeah, that's absolute trash. Yeah, that's stupid.
Yep.
When it comes to Wells, I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I buy in.
Yeah.
I'm completely bought into Orson Welles.
He deserves that title because, again, he had the talent and he fine-tuned it.
Yes,
That's kind of what makes it
and
different. Instead of so many actors nowadays who just do the, they do the, they do have talent, but they don't refine it. So in the end, they're just playing themselves.
yeah. Oh, that's in. So he did do some early television.
Really?
Yes.
Like what?
Let's see. He did Around the World with Orson Welles.
Okay.
Camille, the Naked Lady, and the Musketeers. I have no idea what that was. He did a lot of pilots. Also, I think a TV movie in the land of Don Quixote. Yeah,
Don Quixote?
yeah. He
The
also
dude who
played,
got the crazy guy who went after windmills?
yes, the same, Cervantes's Don Quixote.
Huh.
Yeah.
Or you
Again,
know.
it's something where Orson Welles is just such a masterful force behind movies, and to kind of reduce him down to the Paul Maison wine commercials is a bit of an insult, but at the same time, it's funny.
Also, you kind of tell that he himself just foamed it in at that point, so he didn't really care.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm,
Like, but
and I
even
think that's
then, go on, go on, go on. Sorry.
that's kind of the shame about Orson Welles' career is he was so prolific and so good that he didn't even have to do things. And yeah, part of me is like, man, I wish he gets the credit today that he really deserves. Because
Yeah.
people talk about, you know, and again, not to denigrate any of these actors, but like Sean Connery or um, crap, my brain just went completely blank. Um, no, no, he's trash. He's always been trash. Um, Alec Guinness, you know,
Hmm.
actors of that quality,
Yes. Actors who
and
could act instead of just being themselves. I mean, sure, it's
correct.
funny to have like the flavor of the year actor, but then those who can act, like I think Tom Hardy actually can act pretty well too, because
Yeah,
he can get different roles and be there. And
and
he has yet to find that one role which cements who he is. Because there's a
hmm
lot of actors uh, who are pretty good until they find that one role which captures them. The same happened to Robert Downey Jr. when he became Iron Man.
yeah, it's like they get typecast a little too much, and it's like you don't see their range.
Yeah,
And Orson
and
Welles, I think, kind of fought against that early in his career,
mhm,
and then later he's like, well, I just don't care anymore.
yeah, the dude was not doing well at the end, and I can
No,
understand. Hollywood
uh,
breaks people.
it does, and I always think it's a shame that people think of him more as like the fat guy from A Touch of Evil or the Paul Maison commercials, and don't look at like when he did Othello, when he did The Third Man. Honestly, I think The Third Man is possibly his best film ever. And
Right.
people always rant about Citizen Kane,
Hmm?
and I find it difficult to sit through. I just do. Um, but when it comes to like Othello, amazing.
Hmm.
When it comes to The Third Man, I watch I will watch The Third Man any day of the week if I have the time. It's just that good. And I don't like rewatching movies because I usually like beat for beat I can pick up everything in a movie within 30 seconds of watching it, and it sucks. But I can go through The Third Man, and it's like there's something different, something new about that movie that I didn't catch. Whether it's set design, whether it's characterization, things like that.
Like when I watch a re-listen to an audiobook.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So I'm trying something. Since this here, oh shit, since there isn't much detail here, I
Mm-hmm.
am trying. I'm trying to see if I can do a little bit different than I'm used to.
Ooh,
Let's see.
a challenge I like.
Yeah, we'll see how it turns out. It can go either way, actually. But I'm willing to try. Now this will mean I have to do it in layers. Now if I
Ah.
do this and... No, wait, that's the wrong one.
So,
What did I do again? Select. And there we go. Now I have all of them. Just like that. Whole screen is black, but they are all separate characters.
Huh.
Yes. Now, I'm going to do this so I can have them all in duplicate just to be certain. So in case I screw something up, I can easily go back. So, first of all, the light point there. As the picture, we can show the image that I am kind of basing this on.
Yeah.
As
The
I'm using
famous
as
sewer
reference.
chase scene under the streets of Vienna.
Yes, which I think was pretty beautiful. So that's the kind of one I want to be going with here. A little bit here, a little bit there. White background, so no covering silhouettes this time. It is gonna be. I'm halfway tempted of actually dropping the lines too, but I'm gonna make them a little bit weaker. See what happens.
Okay.
Again, this is all new territory for me.
Well, I'm glad to challenge your abilities and skills.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Select. So now everything I do would only be on the character itself.
Interesting.
Yes, the selection tool is pretty handy.
Kershaw selection tool.
Heh. A hands-on approach. So, uh, if you feel so inclined, do tell about the current movie we're doing.
Yes. So just to kind of give everyone that hasn't, and you absolutely should, haven't seen The Third Man. It is in occupied Vienna, post World War II. That's the setting. So it's got some bombed out ruins. It's very kind of a bleak setting in a lot of ways, but it's also a rebuilding setting. And
Late in the war.
it's after the war. The movie was filmed in 1949, and it's roughly set in a contemporary setting during the Allied occupation, where it's divided up into French, British, American, and Soviet sectors.
Hmm.
And the it's like Berlin, where they divided it up into the four sectors.
Yep.
And this particular story takes place in the British zone of occupied Vienna. And there's actually a decent map that I will toss in so people can kind of get a idea of the way it was divided. And the story follows. It's actor Joseph Cotton playing Holly Martins, a like pulp novelist of all obviously fictional, and he's looking for his childhood friend named Harry Lime, and Lime is played by Orson Welles. So yes, so when Martins gets to Vienna, he goes and talks to the British military police, and they say, "Oh yeah, Lime was killed crossing a street. Just hit by a car."
Mm-hmm.
And so Martins is kind of depressed, and then he meets another fellow who has some connection with Lime. And this guy mentions, oh, there was a third man that day. That hence the title.
Wait,
And
so Orson Welles' character is already dead?
that's the setup of the movie. That's how things. So Martins is looking for Harry Lime, and he's told that Lime is dead. Got hit by a car. And it's like, oh, so Martins is kind of, a bit like, oh, that's unfortunate. And then runs into someone who says there was a third man there that at the time of the accident. And it was said that Lime asked Martins to look after his girlfriend. And I think she was an actress in the movie. I can't remember, but her name's Anna Schmidt, and that's Alida Valley. Um, I think she was a German-born actress, or no? Hold on, no, I think she was Italian. I
Either way, the losing side.
sometimes you can't. It's like, um, but anyway, so that's how Martins gets introduced to Anna Schmidt.
Right.
And if I remember Anna's background, she'd been married to a officer during, and he got killed during the war, and then she took up with Harry Lime.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's so she's kind of already under scrutiny for, possibly having Nazi sympathies and stuff like that.
Right.
Which becomes a plot point towards the end of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Then so Martins starts asking Anna about Lime's death.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like some discrepancies. And it's like, okay, kind of starts following the plot. And then Martins gets in contact with, I can't remember the character's name. Basically, it's hinted at the fact that Lime may still be alive and faked his own death, because Lime is being investigated by the British military police for stealing penicillin from military hospitals, messing with it, and selling it on the black market, which has led to multiple deaths. Yeah.
It's a bit of a rat then.
Yes.
Yeah, because the scene we
He's an
watched.
opportunist.
Yeah, the scene we watched gave me the whole rat being chased kind of feel. Because
And
it
that's
didn't invoke.
definitely.
Yeah, because it didn't try to invoke. It didn't feel like the chase would invoke any sympathy, so to speak.
Hmm.
Not in a way that the hero is in danger. It's more like, yeah, well, they're being chased, but you're not really meant to feel too much sorry for the guy.
No, it's really to that scene is like that panic, that claustrophobia, and it's shot in a very intentional way.
Yeah,
And
the the Germans, or they seem German to me. At first, I thought they were
they're
German.
Austrians, but
Yeah,
they're you can't really tell the difference if you don't know.
exactly. The people who chase, like he clearly, you can clearly tell that the Orson Welles character was, he is kind of panicking, right? Though he is
Hmm.
a kind of a restrained panic, dare I say, manly panic.
Yes.
While the police chasing him, the authorities chasing him, they were just oddly calm. Even when they sort of like were on the hunt after him, they had this strange calmness to them, which made it really feel like he didn't stand a chance. That was kind of unnerving, at least to me.
Yeah, and that was intentional. And there's, where they're like running through the raging sewer, the running sewer there.
Mm-hmm.
It is such a emblematic moment of just the relentlessness at which Lime is being pursued.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's just again, there's so many things that make this movie fantastic.
Mhm.
So let's see. Back to kind of the. I guess the question is, maybe we should just give this as a gigantic spoiler warning for the
Yeah,
third man, so we can go through the whole thing.
that would be the best. Warning to everyone who watches this: if you're watching this video, you will be spoiled for the movie The Third Man. We hardly recommend that you go watch it yourself.
Yes, and even if this does, quote unquote, spoil it for you, me talking about it, because I'm trying to be somewhat brief, you cannot capture in words what this film does. And it does deserve to be called a film, not just a movie, a film.
Yeah, because it is a good example of how good Orson could be.
And Trim, you've only watched the few clips that I've supplied you.
Yeah,
That should tell everybody the impact that this movie can have.
yeah. Immediately seeing that and it's like, yeah, I want to draw this. It's I like it, and just seeing the still image, it doesn't really capture how it is before it is, because this is a sort of middle movement as he realizes there's someone on the other side, and just the dude's kind of panicking to get
Mhm.
as it's happened. And yet, while it's panic, it's sort of this controlled panic. It's more unsettling than anything else.
And that's what's so good, and that's why Orson Welles is so good, because it's panic, it's sheer panic, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not blind panic.
Exactly. And then you have this you have the sewer stream he's in. Then you have the door with the light over, and it's not really the door of hope that his character might want it to be.
Yeah, it's very much kind of fate catching up with the man.
Yeah, because he's the cause of several deaths, right? So this is him
Yes,
getting his comeuppance.
so actually it's we'll get there. And
Yes.
we'll get there because they do explicitly tell what he has done,
Hmm.
and it's unsettling in a sense.
Well, my friend, the stage is yours.
So, yeah, so it's like during this time, Martins starts seeing Lime. Yeah, Lime is kind of like in the periphery watching Martins. There's that old childhood friend element, wanting to make sure that Martins is looking after Anna, and I think it's done so well because the what happens. Ironically, we were talking about cats earlier. Um, Anna's cat is the one that gives away the fact that Lime is there. It's staring at a doorway because Lime's hiding in the doorway. Martins notices the cat is watching this doorway and then sees like Lime like kind of as a glimpse as he vanishes into the night.
Hmm.
So again, Cold War intrigue. A lot of time you figure out again through the movie that Lime goes to the Soviet sector. That's kind of where he's hiding out. He goes and operates in the British, American, and French sectors, but he's hiding out in the Soviet sector. Take that for what you will.
Hmm.
And so eventually, Martins starts pressuring the British police, and they exhume the coffin, and they find out it's like, oh, This guy went missing. This is the guy that was supplying Lime with penicillin.
Yeah. That isn't exactly beneficial to anyone's health, last I checked.
Exactly. And so in all this, it's discovered that Anna's actually a check with forged documents because she was had a relationship with a German officer.
Mm-hmm.
So she gets sent to the Soviet sector as well.
Oh.
So there's like this Cold War intrigue being played out in addition to the espionage, black market underground, which again, it's just so fascinating.
Yes.
And there's a famous scene on this big Ferris wheel in Vienna, which is real. And so Martins and Lime finally meet, and there's a great speech in it from Lime. Basically, like, the city's ruined. I'm just taking advantage of the situation to profit.
Okay.
And that it's also turns out that Lime is the one that sold Anna out, his own girlfriend,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like he's a rat, as you said. I mean, he's an absolute rat.
Yeah. That also, man, that is good.
Oh, and this is why it's such a damn good movie, because
Without seeing
she's
it, I
loyal
can
to
just see.
Lime,
Yeah, I
but
can see. So I'm able to just see his character just by his by the end by that chase scene. That's
oh,
intriguing.
dude, yeah, yeah,
Huh.
and it's such a complex, layered movie, but not modern. Oh, we're going to flip this, the script. We're going to you know subvert expectations. No, it's like it's this layer upon layer of just how selfish Lime
Planned.
is, how vile a man he is, and as Bezic would say, it gets worse.
Let's go in.
So Lime kind of threatens Martins at some after the Ferris wheel. So Martins is kind of starting to turn against his old childhood friend.
Well, it wouldn't be surprising if he did, considering if his friend became this vile scum.
Mm-hmm. And so what? So this is again, this gets into the deep psychology. So Martins offers to work with the British military police to
Mm-hmm.
capture Lime in exchange that Anna is basically taken by the British authorities, and I think she was supposed to go to Paris. It's I can't remember that detail. Um, but yeah, it's like they arranged for her to leave town, basically. Yeah, so she can not be, yeah, thrown in gulag essentially.
Mm-hmm. Because if she went to the Rusky side, she'd be screwed. There would be nothing to help her.
Yes. So they arranged. Yeah, like the last couple of scenes before the sewers, and is the setup for cap. They're trying to capture Lime,
Mm-hmm.
and Lime has learned that she's leaving, but doesn't know that it's a trap. But she tries. So Anna tries to warn Lime,
Well, so
and
she still cares for him that much, huh?
yes, and so like it ends in kind of like this kind of weird moment where Lime gets away. Martins is still kind of like, well, maybe I shouldn't have tried to get um, Anna to help him indirectly, yada yada yada. And then the British captain or colonel or something, I can't remember what Calloway's rank is, um, takes Martins to a hospital where you find out that Lime had sold diluted penicillin, tainted diluted penicillin, and it's a children's hospital, and the children are dying of, I think it was meningitis,
Oh no.
because of what was sold on the black market because of Lime. And
So
Martin's,
he is a crook in the
oh,
most.
he's a rat bastard.
Oh yeah.
So then they try to set it up again in kind of like kind of some neutral zone aspect of things,
Mm-hmm.
and then that's where again Anna warns Lime, because Lime's supposed to be Martin's this time, but Anna warns Lime, and then Lime runs away into the sewers. There's some shooting goes on, and then again it's just this amazing chase scene where Lime is trapped. He cannot escape. You see the Austrian police, the British military police chasing him through this sewer. And that's where you get this shot.
This is just as enters the sewer, then a noise happens, and he just turns around. That is sort of like, oh, that kind of feeling,
Yeah, yeah.
and I love it.
And then Martin, so there's a British military policeman that gets shot by Lime, and Martins picks up the pistol
Right?
and continues the chase.
Ah, so the childhood friend he's kind of taking the responsibility on himself in a way then.
Yes.
Hmm.
And then I can't remember if it's shown explicitly or not, but Martins and I think Calloway are shown to shoot almost at the exact same time, so it's a little ambiguous as to exactly who.
There's like a firing
Actually, no,
squad.
it is Martins, but they show Calloway,
Ah.
and and so it's kind of like Martins has killed Lime,
Mm-hmm.
but you're not sure until after Calloway shows up,
Right.
and then that's kind of the end of the movie, but the final scene at Lime's actual funeral, and you just the music is amazing. The cinematography, because it's just this one long shot in a cemetery where Martins is kind of leaning up. He's missed his flight that he's been promised to get out of Vienna because he still has these feelings for Anna. And this long shot, and she just walks right past him, doesn't look at him, doesn't even recognize.
Yeah, because he shot Lime and she still loved him.
Yes.
Wow.
And it's just like you watch that scene and all the things that Martins has done because of his infatuation with Anna. And it's just like that
Seems
unrequited love.
it seemed also like love, but also it's what is right to do because he was shown what Lime had done to the children, and
Hmm.
it's as if he decided to take it on himself.
Yeah, well, it wasn't just the kids, but also like the manipulation of Anna and all that.
Yeah.
He but it was still his friend in a sense that
Hmm.
he killed.
Yep.
And I mean, it's just such a layered movie. It's really cool.
So,
Yeah.
surprisingly
So
quickly on this one.
yeah, yeah. It's a very kind of simple in a way to
Hmm.
and
See, and I did a little bit of trickery on the line art there.
ooh, I
So
like
instead
it.
of doing all black like this, or this all black, I did add a little bit of white over it. So you can see slight outlines and traces here and there, but it kind of makes it's less a direct replication of it, but more sort of like how I felt of it as he enters the dark hallway and then he looks towards the light and his end, essentially. This is where the
Mhm.
end truly begins for him.
Yeah. And so what's also interesting, this movie was such a big thing.
Hmm.
They did a prequel to this.
Really?
It's called like was it The Adventures of Harry Lime? And I think it was like a radio program.
And it was
And
Orson Welles that read it?
yeah, he did like 52 episodes.
Oh,
Yeah. I mean that tells you how big a film this was. So that they actually did a prequel before prequels became a big thing.
yeah. Well, so what do you think? The main man of the third man, you could say. What do you think of
It,
this?
it was the third man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are you
it's
satisfied with
just
this?
so yeah. Oh, dude, it's awesome. I like the lighting because you can't replicate the illumination shot for shot, but this is just so good, man.
Yeah.
This is so good.
It's I'm kind of happy with this. A little bit of artistic liberty, some shortcuts here and there, but I feel like I managed to do this one rather easily, and it was surprisingly quick too.
Yeah,
It's only just
you're
silhouette
improving
work.
your speed. That's
Yeah,
impressive.
gotta have some speed sometimes. Gotta go fast.
Yeah. Go collect your golden ring.
Nah, I'll only lose them as soon as somebody hits me.
Yeah.
Let's see. One more thing should be done, I see. There we go. No, wait, that's not it.
I think it's something again. I don't think any other actor director combination would have worked with this
No,
because it was.
it had to be Orson.
Oh yeah, it and it was directed by was it Carol Green who did a lot of film noir. I think he also did what's that musical Oliver or some such thing. Um,
All of them?
Basically it is like a musical version of Oliver Twist.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, I'm looking at Carol Reed. and yeah, he's done a lot of movies. Most of them I've not heard of, but it makes me want to go and look at some of his older movies. I mean,
And again, his last movie, the last movie Orson Welles was in, was being Unicron in the Transformers 1986. And just for reference, he again references just to make it clear, he didn't put much effort in, and yet he is the de facto Unicron.
hmm
So if that is what he's able to put in when he gives no effort, it says a lot what he can do when he puts in a lot of effort.
Oh yeah, and Orson Welles was one of those guys where he was temperamental enough where it's like he would start some stuff and then just never finish them.
Yeah.
But you look at something like Touch of Evil, that's awesome. Yeah, it's not as good, but the, as the third man, but man, it's well done.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you have it's a lot of people who have talent to make things. It is, oh, it's not their best, but their worst is still pretty damn good.
hmm Yeah, uh, and this kind of gets into the if a actor is a theatrical actor first,
Mm-hmm.
9 times out of 10 they're going to be just amazing as far
Yeah.
as their ability to act.
And there
And
we have with line art, without. I like it with when I do the highlights once. If I unclip this, see, completely different. The lines become thicker because I did this way.
yeah, it looks a little fuzzy with the overdone light, which
Yes. Which is why this looks a lot better.
yes, man, that's good, dude. That's really good.
Thank you. This one was actually pretty fun. This one, it means something to me.
Excellent. Yeah,
Yep.
and now you don't have an excuse to not watch the third man.
Exactly. I'm pretty sure I can find it somewhere. It's unfortunately I can't find it on the YouTubes, but unfortunately it's blocked unless I pay a ridiculous amount of money. So I'll find it somewhere else. And yeah, the name in Norway is literally the same. It is Den tredje man, the third man, Den tredje man.
Excellent.
Yep. Sometimes we do weird translations. Other times we just decide, fuck it, use the one we already have. No need anything
Yep.
new.
It's like how can you screw that up? You know.
Exactly. It is just that simple. You know, Lord of the Rings is Ringenes Herre, which is again Lord of the Rings, or the Ring Lord. A little bit of turnaround in phrases. While you go to Sweden, it is the Saga of the Ring.
I mean, it kind of.
It doesn't have the same hit.
Yeah.
But with this, I will conclude this Simply Sketchy. Another one that is relatively short. Hell yes.
Awesome.
Where's the two
But yeah.
hours one? We'll see.
It's
Oh.
still bound to happen, I'm sure.
Yeah, we do some short ones, and just you wait. Soon we'll get to a 3-hour video for Basic to do. Mwahaha! Poor guy.
Only
Maybe he
in
deserves it.
spirit and bank.
Oh, that's kind of cruel.
I don't.
Well, then, thank you very much, Bleach, for joining me for this event, and thank you very much for telling me about this movie and for sharing it. I really liked it.
And again, I'm giving you like the crappiest synopsis I can of this movie.
Yes. Which means you're going to enjoy the actual events. Here's the thing. We've been drowned in so much modern crap that we kind of need to remember to take a few steps back and see what came before.
Hmm.
And this is a perfect example of that. So,
I mean, when you watch The Third Man and compare it to what's considered a good movie today,
yeah, it's like comparing a child's painting to the Mona Lisa.
yes, very much so.
Well, then, with more of the rest of the thank yous, is to Robert Renato. Thank you very much for letting me use your music on my videos. I really appreciate it. Seriously, go give that guy a listen and a look, because he is making his own projects as well as doing musical projects for several other people. Honestly, all of it pretty good, and he's currently having a obsession with Eldritch, with getting the Lovecraftian lore some music, and he's doing a pretty good job so far. And of course, a big thank you to Besic for constantly editing all my videos and just being a major help. Without him, this channel would not be a functioning thing, I tell you that. So yeah, it's I really appreciate it. And of course, to everyone else who has been dropping by to watch and or listen to this video, thank you very much for spending your time here. I really appreciate it. Again, if you wish to hire me for commissions, you'll find links in the description down below to both my Twitter, just DM me if you need to contact me, or you can just use the Ko-Fi, which also works. And I will try to do more regular streams when I get back from work. So in a 3-week on, 3-week off cycle, I'll hopefully be able to do at least one or two streams within those periods. If I'm getting what I really want to do, it's one stream per week I'm home, but I won't start promising too much just yet.
So what I'm
And
hearing is you have a weak stream.
yes, very. Should go get that checked, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
Again, Bleach, thank you very much for joining me here, and everyone else have a wonderful day. Goodbye.
See ya.